Welcome back, folks, to airplanehunters.org. And we're very pleased now to have a special guest with Scott Knox and myself, our main man in Sweden, our chief diver, our guy that's going to lead us out to the site for the resting place of the Halifax bomber, Jan Christensen, our chief diver and chief diver of Swedish Coast and Sea Center. So Jan, how are you doing? And welcome to our very first airplanehunters.org show. And we're pleased to have you on board, buddy.
Hi guys, Carl and Canada. This is Sweden calling. Yeah, it's going fine here. We have awesome weather outside. Seagulls, you can still hear them in the background. So good weather, and seeing forward to this project.
That's good, Jan. And yeah, we've got some hot weather going here too. But you know what's more important for us, and we've seen it in the past when we've done all these exploration dives on the Halifax, is how is Mother Nature going to treat us when we're out there for 2 or 3 weeks in August?
Oh yeah, that's the big question. We never know, but we're looking forward to this week. So hope for the best.
In the past, in those summer times when we could get out, and we've kind of plotted all of the different goodies that are there, what we can see, but some of it is hidden by sand, and obviously sand is a problem. And but Jan, I wanted to show you this image of us and what we're looking for the Halifax to help out Scott Knox and his whole team. So I'd like to show you this image of this Halifax bomber. It's what shall I call it? An exploded view. And Jan, can you see that okay? The diagram of the Halifax?
Yes.
Okay, now this is cool. Okay, so you see number 1 in red, that's the center section. And Scott Knox and his team are doing great guns on rebuilding that section, which we got from the island of Malta in the Mediterranean. And Scott's been working on it for several years, and they've done a great job. And, you know, that's a big chunk. That's the foundation. And it's like about 9 meters by about 3 meters, that section of airplane. And so you've seen some of the images of Scott Knox work. And now I just wanted to point out to you, you see numbers 2 and number 4. Those are the intermediate 3-meter sections of wing. And then you see number 3 and number 5. Those are the outer wing panels, and those are 8 meters or about 25 feet long. And you've spent the most time down on the sand underwater looking. And how do you approach, if we had to pick these 5 sections or these 4 sections to do, how would you approach? What have you seen down there, and how would you approach trying to find these priority pieces?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say, Scott, this is really great work you're doing. We're following all the progress of your exceptional work over there. Yeah, I would like to say that the difficulties is that all those big pieces that you're talking about now, is a lot of them is under the sand. And so we have just tips of pieces sticking over the sand bottom. And so we have to start and do the big excavation first of all. We have found some pieces, of course, but it's some pieces of the rear end of the airplane. So we got big chunks laying also over the sand that seems to be a bit of the center section. So and that is the big salvation we have to start with. So but all of the other pieces, it's under the sand, so there's a lot of work in that too.
Sure. And oh, you know what? Here's interesting, Jan. You know, we just bought that brand new high pressure underwater. It's like a high pressure car washer, but it's for underwater. And
Yeah.
remember, we have the pump called Jackie, and
yeah.
we nicknamed it Jackie, the water pump for moving the sand. And
Oh,
then
yes.
we've got Sue, which is the sand underwater excavation equipment. And you know, the new one, the high pressure washer, I got a name for that. You know what I've called it? Hippie.
Oh, oh, great name,
So
great name.
it's H for high pressure, P or HP for high pressure, and E on the end, which is for excavator, you know, to cut the sand with a high pressure jet. So I put two little eyes in there. So here it is. Think about this adventure. It's going to be called Jackie and Sue with the Hippie on River Thames.
That's great.
We could write a book.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so remember now, the high pressure washer is called the Hippie. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I will say that that's an important tool, because we have seen that in the rear end stuff that we're excavating last year, we did some tries to get it up, but it's stuck in the bottom. It had some chemical reaction between the metal and the sand, so it gets big chunks of that. So we have to cut them loose, and that's what we're going to start with this year. So
now here's what I like, Jan, is that I've seen other underwater recoveries all over the world, and guys go out there without the right tools, and then they do something they shouldn't have done to the old airplane they were recovering because they didn't have the right tools. So I want Jackie, I want Sue, I want the Hippie, and then we got a good team. So we've got a good enough set of tools that we can really do this. Now, Jan, I want to show this image to you of the map of the Halifax lying under the sand. So Jan, you're the one that plotted this entire area underwater using your computers and everything. Took many hours to build this. And what size is this area where the Halifax is under the sand? In the blue and in the green and the orange. What size is it? And tell us more about this.
Yeah, it's inside the square. It's around 40 meters from the left to the right, from A1 to A5. And if you see the 2, 3, and 4 is the engines, and we have salvaged 2 of them up to now. So yeah, it's a 40 times 20 meters.
Sure. Well, okay. So, and what we're seeing, where we see the green and the orange and the yellow, those are pieces of the Halifax projecting up above the sand level. But in there are these pieces, but there are more pieces, like I showed you earlier on the exploded view of the Halifax. There's lots of stuff that's under the sand. So it really is a treasure chest covered with a lot of sand.
Yeah, it really is. You just see a little part of the big picture, because all this, if we're looking on a sand bottom that is completely just flat, and we have small particles sticking up of the sand, they just it's starting to grow on those. So it seems like there's growing on the sand, and when we find something that grows in the sand, it's pieces under the sand. So that's what we're looking at. Those pieces that we see. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but what are the conditions like down there? Is it hard to see? What's the current like? What are the diving conditions like?
The diving conditions is pretty good, easy diving, I would say. This is 12, 14 meters depth. It's a light sand bottom. And that makes it very light environment. So the only problem we get that is when it's when it's like in the late summer, we get a lot of particles in water, so it can be some small distance for this that we can see. But when we will know where all the pieces, the big pieces are, so we can still locate down there. So that's not the biggest. The only big issue we have is the weather,
Right.
because it's very open. There's nothing that we have no land that takes care of the wind, so it builds waves immediately if they start to blow. So that's the biggest problem, I would say.
What are
Sure.
what kind of sea conditions can you handle? 1 meter, 2 meters? What can you work within?
Yeah, like 1 meter don't sound like much, but 1 meter still have big difficulties because it's a big ship, a lot of tons weighing over us, and it's not so deep when we're diving. And when the water comes rolling over, it's come from deep areas into the shallow areas, and
Right.
and then when they start to build, they can build very, very quick, those waves, and can just turn around our it can start to get rough in very short time.
Right. So the window of opportunity is very small. You have to act quickly when you've got the chance. Excellent.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me of my personal life. There were calm periods and there were really rough periods. But the thing is, and you hope for glass smooth, but you're
Yeah.
probably going to get 1 meter. And guess what? I can handle 2 meters, but I can't handle anything more than 2 meters of waves with that
Oh.
50-foot tugboat,
Right.
17 meters long. I can't handle much more than 2 meters. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that we can handle that and that Mother Nature is good to us.
Yeah, one big thing about the waves is about the divers. They got equipment that is about 100 kilos. They're 50 to 100 kilos on each person, and when they are going up to a boat that's moving with 2 meters up and down, that's very, very difficult, and that's some things that we have to consider when we're going there.
Sure. And, Jan, Gustav Fredrickson and the River Thames, they've made a heck of a lot of improvements. So we're going to have a program in the coming days with Gustav, and Gustav is going to tell us about all the improvements to help you guys do your diving. And so we're getting to the end of our program now, Jan, but thank you very much for coming on. And we're going to stay in close touch with you. We're going to prepare for August, 2 to 3 weeks in August to do our diving. And so thank you very much for being on. It's a short and sweet program. We want to get it out to the world, airplanehunters.org. You're part of it. I can't think of a better guy to be leading this expedition than you. And so just say hi to all our friends at SCSC. We'll be back with you very soon. And thank you very much, Jan, for being on.
Very good work, all of you, not just us from Sweden. We're doing a good teamwork, all of us. So
yeah, this is a great international team between Canada, Denmark, Sweden, and beyond. It's really fun to work with you guys, and as much as it is the destination, it's the journey of who you travel with that's the most fun.
Oh yes.
And so this for us is great. So thank you, Jan. And I'll just tell you folks out there at airplanehunters.org, we will have hopefully next week 2 great interviews. One will be with one of our directors, Chris Charland, and he's going to interview one of the best Royal Canadian Air Force photographers ever, Vic Johnson. His daughter, Tracy, is going to tell us about Vic Johnson. And we will also have Gustav Fredrickson, skipper of our beautiful River Thames salvage tugboat. he'll be on next week, and he's going to show us everything about River Thames and our home away from home, Jan, when we're doing our work. And so thanks everybody for coming on, and we'll keep going. We'll keep rolling and sharing with the world. Airplanehunters.org. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Great.
Take care.
Take care.